Well, good day, tubes. How's she hanging? Pretty good here, February, thinking around the 11th, 2015. The John Deere TLB 110 TLB got a new battery, new starter, new alternator, and some new cables. It's been a while, probably about due to have a look at the battery again, just to see how it's looking, what's going on, if it's okay, if it's good, if it's bad, if it's ugly, or what. So we're gonna pull her off here. We got her charging right now. It was running fine. I had no issues, but you know, 3 years, it's probably due for a relook at kind of thing, and a testing, and everything else is pretty well the same. It's interesting that the charger is flashing 100 there, but it never actually shut off. So I'm gonna say that's good. Let's pull her off. Looks like we got a bit of something going on here in the box of the battery. For the battery, that's interesting. A little bit of corrosion-y kind of stuff, and I think this battery box is actually welded on to here. I can't really remember now, but I'm gonna get you on a tripod. We're gonna just pull this battery out, unhook it, take it out, give it a test. It looks fairly clean on the terminals, but it does need a little bit of cleaning up, and we'll clean the terminals and the battery posts, and figure out kind of what's maybe going on in there, if it's salt damage, or could be salt from when we salted the roads. You know, it's really hard on everything. I try not to use the salter if I don't absolutely have to. But let's get a tripod going here, some tools, and we'll get this out and give her a test. Make sure she's all good still. Alright, so let's unhook these battery cables. No. Definitely try not to touch this negative to the side. It'd be nice if maybe it was a plastic box, but I don't really know if plastic would have lasted long enough. Oh, I might need to get something in there to pry that feller open a little bit. A bit of a screwdriver-y kind of something. It's still quite gooey from when I did it last. When we put them on, I guess, and around, like I say, 2015. It's probably good. That's that dielectric grease too, and it looks pretty good. So, well, it's not gonna fit there. Usually, it's the positive though that is the mess. Holy shnikes. Oh. Well, I'm going to need a little bit bigger screwdriver. It's not exactly a bigger screwdriver, but... Ooh. Wow. Oh, there we go. I didn't think it was on there too good, but apparently she was on there pretty good. It's actually looking pretty decent. That grease that was on there, I guess, helped out pretty good. I do want to get her all out and get it all cleaned up and see what's going on with this box here, though. So we'll just back these up a hair. Nope. There. And this thing is a bit of a pig to get out of here. It's not fun because there's nowhere really to grab other than the strap. So what's going on in this box here? Oh, it is bolted on. That's good to know. One of these days, maybe in the winter, I'll get it all off, and geez, we might have to get a new box. It's really not horrible bad shape, but that is definitely some corrosion in here. Just eating right through it. That's interesting. You almost think that the box was you know, transferring into the tractor that way, but it's not touching. It wasn't. Nothing was touching there that I could see. Cables all feel good. Okay, well, let's get the battery in and have a look at her. Okay, so everything, like I say, seemed decent still on it. I'm not having any concerns yet, but you know, I like to keep them cleanish. Helps with the I should have showed you that before I whipped it all off, but you could get voltage transferring through the top of the battery here, which is not really a good thing. And it could end up killing your battery. I mean, you wonder why is my battery all dead? What the crap? And really, it's not the battery's fault, it's because it was not maintained. It was not maintained and kept clean. So if you touch your negative and you even go anywhere across here, you might get 1 or 2 volts. So that's technically grounding out to itself. Okay, we'll get those nice and clean. Now, I don't have any of that dielectric grease, I think is what I used on it way back. But I've got normal grease here, maybe I'll just have to use that. So it doesn't hurt too, a little bit of brake cleaner just to get any residue off. Should really pop the caps and even clean under the caps, anything where, you know, that stuff has slopped down onto. Even somewhat around the front. Sometimes you can get a path where voltage will pass through. Should keep her, you know, nice and clean as absolutely possible, but sometimes it's hard to do that because, you know, where it's mounted or whatever. Should probably pop those caps, but we're going to do a test here. First, I'm going to get my brushes, and these are actually a 1/2-inch copper pipe cleaning brush. Works pretty good. I do actually have a proper brush for it. It's not too bad. That one's a bit too small. Yeah, I do actually have a proper brush, but it's of course not here right now. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so this, yeah, 2015 February. It's pretty close. I looked up the video, so I knew when I did it. So February last year would have been 3 years. So these are pretty good batteries. The neighbor had a really good one in hers and lasted 9 years, and it's starting to show a bit of problem now, but it still seems to start her tractor up. So we're gonna get our old, well, new topped-on tester out here. Give her a test, and this is 650 cold crank amps. Seems low for a big battery like this, but so good there. 13 volts, a little down. English, out of vehicle. I've charged it. Full crank amps of, I'm gonna jack that way up. Probably testing her battery last. What did I say? 650? 650. So this will test, tell me how many amps are still left in the battery here. If it's holding a charge or it's not holding a charge. So here we go. And I'm going to try this when we get it back in the tractor. I'll hook back up too, because you can do a testing. Cranking out, good battery. State of health, that's good, 100%. We actually have 830 amps in this battery right now. Holy crap. So that's pretty good. State of charge is 98% full. Sweet. So we should be good with that, I think. So if I went further with this, if you have to do it in the car, good. I'm happy with that. I don't have to put a battery in it because they're like $600. No, they're not that much, but they're not cheap. So I got to see what's going on in this box here. Might just get some compressed air for now and just blow it out. Take it off maybe in the wintertime if I can get those bolts out. That might be fun. And give it a sandblast and repaint it. I just don't know why it's kind of corroding in there. It could be salt damage. Okay, so sorry about the buzzy compressor in the background. We're just going to give the cables a clean out too here. I blew a bit of this out of here and some of the crap come out, but ooh, that looks nice. Wasn't much corrosion on the terminals though, but I do believe this is salt damage, salt from being in there, just the powder kind of stuff. I do believe that's what that was, so I should try to bang some of this out of here maybe. Probably we won't have to get the bolts out of here. Well, this one anyways. It'll just kind of rip off. I'll have to watch that because, you know, I'm ripping off a fair bit of layers here. Somewhat thick metal, but it's not huge. Might be a project for me to build a new battery box. Sweet. Okay, so I'm just going to back these up a little bit here because it's going to be kind of dusty and crappy and dusty here for a second or two. Uh-oh, my compressor won't start. Uh-oh. Big chunks of metal coming out there. That's not a good thing. Let me give you guys a little... That was dusty and kind of smells funny. It smells very metally. Alright, I guess we can get our battery, throw them back in. Want to see something cool? This little cord I was running on here. Let me plug the compressor right in the wall. Okay. It'll start, hopefully. Alright, that's good. So I plug it into this cord, which is probably a 6-8 foot cord. Plug it into the cord, and then watch. Can't get enough power to the cord. Plug her back in the wall. Wow, that cord's crappy maybe. She might be no good. So, who knows? Sweet. Okay, what I think I might do, even though it's probably not going to do anything now, is spray some of this fluid film on this thing just to try to keep it from corroding even more. It might soak in and maybe slow it up a bit. Not likely, it's probably junk now, but especially on the bottom here where it seems to be really eating it up. Maybe that's not a good idea, spraying that, I don't know. I don't know, maybe that's not a good idea. But anyways, I did it. Huh. Stick that guy back there. Okay, this sucks trying to get this back in here too. Let's try to get everything up out of the way. Okay. Push this guy all the way back. Get our cables back out. Oh crap. I'm not sure which one is which. I should be able to figure it out though. Make sure that one went there. Okay. Ooh, Jesus. No, that can't be right. Yeah, we better not cross them over again. That's not good on things. That feels more better. Hopefully everything's alright. Oops. They're both the exact same looking cable, although one's a bit thicker, which is the ground, of course. Okay. Let's give her some grease too. I don't have the same grease I used before. I've just got this stuff. That's all I got here, so it's better than nothing, I suppose. Okay. Come on. Work with me, finger. Geez, I hope that didn't hurt anything. Okay. We'll just clean up here for a minute and tighten up. Alright. So. Crank these screws back down. Probably good. I'd like to get it on a bit more, but it's kind of hitting the battery, so that's maybe all we're gonna achieve. Ooh, it's a hot stinker day out here today. Thank goodness, who ordered that, eh? That should be good. Okay, I'm happy. Let's wash our tool off here. Wash our tool. That's good, that's good. Okay, let's get the tester out again here. We'll do a starting test, and we'll just test the battery again. And we'll see how the crank is and how the charge is. Okay, actually down in voltage a bit from what it was. So English, in vehicle. We'll say after charge, regular flooded, cold crank of 650, testing. Hopefully it comes out good, even though yeah, we're good, good battery. Okay, so we'll hit okay again. Crank test, start engine. Okay, I gotta go on the other side, start engine. Hopefully it starts. Testing the alternator. Increase rev. Didn't increase it, but okay. Did probably have increased it a bit. Loaded port, that's pretty good. I might try that again with it running a bit faster. So I'm going to start the test here again. Just because does, it'll spin the alternator a little faster, I believe, there. Okay, English and vehicle after charge, regular flooded, cold crank, 650 testing. Good battery, okay. Start the engine. Okay, let's go fire it up. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That all seemed to test out pretty good there. So battery and charging and cranking test, and good. Got a good battery still. Good to know. Good batteries are hard to come by unless it's brand new. Seems like anyways nowadays. So there we go. I'm happy with that. We'll throw the cover back on. Alright, so hopefully that spray in there slows that up a little bit. The cover's got a little bit on it. It's not bad. I'm thinking it's probably salt spray damage, and I think that's probably what's happened there. I got some salt residue in there from sprinkling salt there. Didn't check it, so I mean I wash it every time. It's hard, but I got water I can get to in the wintertime to wash all the residue off, salt residue. I think I got most of it, but you know, there's some here and there. But so there we go, all good to go. I'm happy. We still got a decent battery, and that's good to know because they're not cheap. So a sweet little story for you. Back there I had a birch tree clump stumpy thing, that tree that died, and we cut it all down there, and I had to get the stump out. So I left it about 1.5 feet maybe above the ground, so I'd have a bit to grab onto to, you know, rip at it. So it was kind of a sensitive area, we'll say, and I didn't want to make a huge mess, so I went out with the mini axe, put my factory bucket on it with the teeth, got it all dug around the whole thing. So we got a stump that's probably in circumference, well, no, we'll go from side to side, it might have been like 1.5 feet wide. So with that, you got to dig about another foot or so around the whole thing. So we've got a fairly big hole started here, right? So I got it all dug down nice, got all the tree roots that I could feel ripped out, went to hook onto it to, no, the little guy just would not do it. It actually pulled me up off the ground kind of thing. It was a bit scary. So I'm like, really? So anyways, I'm like, well, I didn't want it to get the big tractor out for it, but I did, and I put on the little trenching bucket back there. Works good. And just one pull, rip, gone, done, out. So I should have probably used this thing to start with, but thought I want to use my little guy, you know, just for, like I say, it was a sensitive area. So but it's out, filled in, packed in, grass seeded, put the sprinkler on for an hour, should be all good. So but yeah, so anyways, we'll go for a little tour up the hill here, and that's about all I can take you. So fire's up good. I had to do a bit of work on my loader too, way down underneath there. I don't know if I did a video on it. I don't think I did. That's about the time I was just about screwed for filming back there. There's these two rods that go down here. These guys here, they kind of bend and go all the way down to the actual hydraulic unit thingy there, guy thingy, whatever you call it. And there's two rods that are I don't even know what you call it, like an actuator thing that these rods hook to, and they were actually loose this way, so I had a whole pile more play than this. Like, it was probably like this kind of thing, but now I got a lot tighter, so I had to go down there and add on a washer and it actually worked out pretty good. I'll see if I can maybe get under there after and show you. So it's still really stiff though, and I don't know why. Stiff, and then it's hard to get it into the float position. That went there, not too bad, but you shouldn't have to really smash it that hard. It should just kind of and in, but you can hear that click. That's pushing it past and putting the loader bucket into float position. But anyways, we'll get up here and then we'll have a look. We'll have a look underneath there, and I'll show you what I was talking about. I guess they call that a hydraulic spool valve. I think that's the right term. Where I was working on it, I put on some new little turnbuckle guys too. Alright, let's just head up a little bit. It's also a clearance under it, so don't worry, I won't get squashed. At least I hope I don't get squashed. So yeah, it'd been getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and I'd actually replaced these things, and there's the little, it's not like a nylon, but there's like a little bushing inside of these things that the rod's hooked to, and I had actually replaced them, and it didn't kind of really do anything. So the stupid thing is there's no grease fittings on these things anywhere, so you can't grease anything. So these guys here where the rods come down, there's one there, one on the back side, so when you're pushing, it pushes onto the actuator guy here, or the valve body guy here. And you can see I got some wetness there, a little bit of work needing coming on this thing, but look at how the heck do you get these lines off of here? I guess one at a time, I don't know. And then this thing will be bolted down, I guess, through the body here into these things. So, but yeah, I had replaced these guys, and then there's little bushings inside of them. I replaced them too. And then I put these were getting a little sloppy too, so I put some new little turnbuckle end guys there on it. So seems better. Like this one here was, you can almost still see some of the movement, but it was really bad. So when you push down, you're actually like pushing down, and then it was flaring out on you. So it seems a lot better now, but I still got some play in the joystick guy up there. It's a really silly setup. I'll show you that too when we go up here. This thing too had a hydraulic fluid change there. Oh, winterish time-ish. It went all good. Drain. And inside of here, you pull this out, and there's like that screen guy thing in there with the magnets in it, so that got cleaned out. And new filters, 2,700 hours. We did the filter and the oil change, so she was good. She'd be good for a while, so yeah, went pretty good. Nothing else really new on it. Everything's been good. No, nothing else leaking that I can see. Any seals in the wheels all look good. Everything's dry, so I'm pretty happy with that. Nothing else changed. No, nothing else changed. So just this here. Redid those things again and added a washer. Had one that was just absolutely perfect to fit and take up that room, because there's like a circlippy guy on the front of that, right? So it's absolutely perfect, and it took all that slop out. So then I greased it with some of that copper anti-seize stuff in there, so that's what's on there, but no grease fittings on there. So what there is like this bolt thing, this bolt thing that comes out, and there's no grease fitting on it. So when I first took those apart, oh, they were pretty rusty, not good. So that wears out. How do you replace that? Because that's welded onto the loader frame here, which is kind of silly, but anyways. So let's go up and have a look at this joystick. So I have replaced this thing once actually, because it was really sloppy, but it seems to be really sloppy again. So it's like plastic. I'm really worried about hammering down on that float too hard and it just tearing the hell out of this thing, because it's just plastic with like a nylon ball that's stuffed into the back one here, and then it's basically balls that go into these rod end things. So I mean, it's, I don't know, I have sprayed it with stuff too, and it seems to be a lot of play in it though already. Like, oh my goodness. kind of goofy how they do it. You can tighten these things up, like there's play there, but you can tighten them up, but I think I've got them as tight as they'll go. I'd have to mess with it again just to refresh my memory blank, but yeah, I'm not super too happy with their design on that thing. But anyways, this has had problems too. Plastic again, bolts through, and then you get play in there because it's broken now, right? So you got play on that too, so it's like, holy crap. And then to replace this, there's all electronics and crap in there. I don't know if you just get the plastic shell. Probably not. They'd sell you all this, which goes down into probably under the dash here somewhere and plugs in. So, I mean, holy cow. But I just be ginger with it. If I have to, maybe I'll just fill that full of some kind of glue and just solid, done. And it won't come off at all. So, but yeah, there we go. But it's been running good. I know you guys have been asking about it, and it's, you know, still going. So 20... don't remember how many hours now. I know we did that change at 2700. I think we got a little bit over that now. I haven't done a whole lot with it, so let's have a look. See here. What do we got on her? 2741.7. So we got 41 hours on her since the change. So that's not too bad. Sweet. But yeah, it's been running good. Running good. So far, so good. And I know I've been asked the question too, what would you replace it with? I don't know. Really don't want like a big full-size backhoe, but Kubota does make that TLB in themselves now, and I think they've got one more bigger model yet that's not into the full-size cab backhoe yet. That might be all right, and it actually digs, I think, 3 feet deeper than this. Goes 13 feet. I don't need the depth. Depth has always been fine with this one, but it's the reach. You know, so you can park your trailer a little bit further away and then into your trailer, right? So, but yeah, anyways, gotta rock on. Thanks again for watching. Catch you all later. It's good to know we have a good battery, and I'm happy. So, catch you all later. Have a good night.